So when you first land an admin, you will land on the general tab. We by default provide you with this assembly logo, but on a paid plan, you can choose your company logo and that will appear up here. And then you can customize the name of your currency at any time. If you want to change it at any time, you can do that. So you can pick from our emojis. You can call it whatever you'd like. This is just to verify what it looks like plural. Inviting people permissions. I'll show you the different ways to invite people. By default, only admins can invite people directly to the platform. But if you want to enable managers or other people, individual contributors on the team to invite other people to the platform, you can change this to everyone. And then if you want people to have to go through a request process to invite people, just enable this. So anybody who's not an admin will have to request to add somebody to the platform. It's a good safety net for your platform if you're, we charge per seat, or if you don't want random people joining the platform. So this is a good safeguard to allowing people to add people to the platform, but making sure that admins have eyes on it before the people join the platform. So my recommendation would be set this to everyone and then enable admin approval for invites. And I'll show you what this looks like in a second. And then click save. Really quick, joining this assembly, allowing anyone from a whitelisted domain below with the invite URL to join just means that if you want to blast out a link to people within your company, you can whitelist your company domain. So if we said joinassembly.com is the one we want to whitelist, anybody who has a joinassembly.com email can join this platform without manually being invited or being invited through your HRIS platform. So just an explanation on what that means. So you can add multiple domains to this. So if your company has contractors and any contractor from an external domain, you want them to be able to join, you can just send them the link, whitelist their domain, and they can join without needing an invite or without needing approval. Let's get into how you add people to the platform. So what you're seeing here is we're a new version of this page that will be launching likely sometime this week or early next week. So I'm going to demo this to you using this because moving forward, this is what it's going to look like for you all. So we have this active tab that shows you the count of everybody in the platform, which we have the active queued requests and pending section. So nothing's going to change here. But what we are enabling you to see is if anybody's been deactivated from the platform, this will show you who's been deactivated. Again, this is a work in progress, but it'll show you the date that they've been deactivated and how they were deactivated, whether it's an individual person that deactivated them or whether they were deactivated through your HRIS. And kind of taking a step back for a second, if you use an identity provider, we provide you Slack, Office 365, and G Suite for free. You don't have to have a paid account to set these up. What these identity providers are is a way for you to automatically manage who joins and leaves your assembly. And so instead of manually inviting, which I'm going to show you how to do after this, you can connect to your HRIS, select, either everybody in the organization or specific groups within the organization that you want to join. And that can be modified at any time that you'd like. And if you are switching from one provider to another, you can disconnect and reconnect to another one here. For those who are not familiar, we offer a very rich suite of HRIS integrations that can suit anybody's needs. This is somewhat recent, but if you don't want to use Slack or Office 365 or Google, we have all of these options here. So you can click these. You'll need some information directly from those platforms, like for security and authentication reasons, but just follow the steps as you select your provider to get you set up. So as far as inviting people to the platform, admins, like I said before, will always have the ability to manually invite people to the platform. So one way to do it is through here. You can manually input the information from for each employee. And we have a few required fields like name and email. And then if this person's an admin, if this person's a manager, you can select that here. You can control their default allowance. You can give them custom, like I mentioned before. So If this person is the CEO and you want to give them 10,000 points to give a month, you can give them a custom allowance and enter the value here that you want them to be able to give. So once you click confirm, this will send an email invite to the member, and then they will confirm in their email and join the platform. And when you manually invite people, they show up in this pending section. So I'll show you what it looks like to have somebody in here in just a second, but you can also bulk invite users by uploading a CSV. It's something that people oftentimes do, but most of our members use an HRIS integration to manage their members, because that automatically imports names, emails, departments, job titles, all of these things. So you never have to worry about manually updating any of these things. So another way to invite people. So like I mentioned, we have those permissions in admin. So if you have everyone enabled to invite, someone can come in here. Let's say Katya demo test at joinassembly.com. I'm not seeing that in here. So I can add this person to Assembly just by clicking add teammates. So Katya demo test at joinassembly.com, send. So this person will show up as a pending user. And as soon as that member is invited into the platform, they can be added to any flow. You can give them recognition while you're waiting for them to join the platform. If you give them recognition while they're waiting to join the platform, I can show you what this looks like. So let's do celebrate a teammate, Katya demo test. So this is the user that I just added. And again, if this person's added via admin or added via here, the same behavior applies. So celebrate, showing you some love before you join the platform. You should get an email about this. Let's say initiative, and then we'll just do 1 point for the sake of this. So as you can see, I received, or my demo person received recognition. This person will actually receive an email at the end of every day, summarizing any time that they've been mentioned, summarizing any time that they've been recognized, summarizing any time that they've been mentioned in a comment. All of those will kind of nudge the user into showing them that they have activity to remind them to join the platform. I'll show you in a second. Also, you can manually remind people to join the platform, but this is another way that you can invite a person to the platform. One lesser known way that people can be invited to the platform is if I want to create a new flow. Let's just say, let's just start from scratch. So we'll have this be no trigger. We'll just add a demo block, demo flow. And then when I create the flow, by default, I am the only participant and I'm the only viewer of this flow, but I can share this with anybody that I want. So if I want to include a pending member, so I can show you that Katya demo test can be added as a participant. But if I'm like, oh, let me add, Katya Hill, or if Katya was not in the platform, I could go member is Katya H demo test at joinassembly.com. Okay. So adding another pending user, they will become a participant of this flow as soon as they accept their invite request. So that's kind of a more hidden way to manually invite people. But if you're in the process of trying to add people to a flow and you're like, oh, shoot, this person's not on the platform, just again, email is right in their email, send the invite. And that will only be available to people who have permission to invite directly without admin approval required. So depending on whatever permissions you've configured, that's one option for people as well. For this, I'm just going to archive this. We don't need this anymore. So what I'm going to show you is I invited 2 people to the platform. I'm just going to kind of explain to you what this means in admin. So if we go back to users manage, oh, again, sorry, this is a work in progress. This should say 2. The 2 users that I just added now appear here as pending users. So if they haven't accepted their invite and you want to remind them, you can send a reminder by clicking this, and that will send a reminder email to them to accept their invite. If you don't want them to join the platform anymore, you can click delete. And yeah, and that's basically it for pending. Quick refresher on what queued means. If you have a connection to an HRIS and you want to add a bunch of people to the platform, but you're not ready to go live yet, there's an option when you're setting up the connection to send invites later. And if you send invites later, this will go into the queued state, and you can select all here and approve the queued members, and they will receive an email prompting them to set up their Assembly account. So that's what queued mean. Requests, if I were to change my permissions in admin to require admin approval, any person that invites via that left section with the people list, or well, actually just from the left section with the people list, those requests will show up here. Cool. So that's manually inviting people in a nutshell. You can manually invite people if you have an HRIS connection, but and the 2 can coexist. So it's not one or the other. You can do both. Most people will manage, like I said, their invites and their members through an automated HRIS integration, but manual members are treated just the same within Assembly. And then also, if you manually invite somebody, so say you're like just testing out the platform or getting a few people on your team on, and you manually invite them, and then you connect to an HRIS, those people will be merged into the HRIS connection. So you don't have to manually manage those people anymore. Cool. So another feature that we offer from a security perspective, so if you connect to Slack, Office 365, or G Suite, we enforce the SSO on that. So if you're connected to either of those 3 HRISs, we will prompt you upon login to sign in via an SSO with Slack, Office 365, or G Suite. Something that we are working on in the nearest future is to allow you to connect to those things, but not forcing people to log into it. Another thing that you can do is if you have a G Suite, if you have a Google account or a Slack account, anybody on your team can SSO using those things as long as the emails match their email in Assembly. So even if you're not connected to any of these things, so I could do this, I'll sign out. And as you saw, I wasn't connected, and I can just sign in with Slack. And I can SSO this way to get in. So just so you understand what that means. If you are connected to those 3, we will enforce it. But even if you're not, you can still sign in through those methods. On a similar note, another feature that we offer is a Saml Authentication. This is a more technical security layer that we offer to companies that have like Okta or Workday or OneLogin. So basically, you'll come into here, and just give me a second. So you'll come into here. Right now, we are already connected to OneLogin. Again, this is a pretty technical thing, so you want somebody on your IT team to set this up who has access to these information's needed for this. But what I will tell you for how it works is once you're successfully set up, you can say who you want to enforce this sign-in for. So if you don't want people connecting through any other method except for signing in or SSOing directly through your Saml platform, you can have this be all members. If you want all members, but if you have like, again, contractors or somebody that's not in your Workday, not in your Okta, you can have it be all members that are part of your direct organization. And then anybody that's manually invited, that's not part of that sync, external members, they won't be forced to authenticate with Saml. And then it's optional. If somebody just feels like pressing a button and then they're already signed into their Okta, they click sign in with Okta, or in this case, we're signing in with one login, and they would sign in with that. And right now we also give you the option to enter a password. So it would either be sign in with one login or sign in with a password. We are integrating with this platform called Axomo. It's a pretty widely used third-party platform for people to manage their company swag stores. But what we have done is given you a way to integrate directly into your assembly and give your members the ability to redeem their points for company swag, which is something I'm personally very excited about. And I know a lot of our customers have been asking. So if you do not have an Axomo account, you will need one to enable swag. Just like a little tip, if you don't have an Axomo account, you have no plans of having an Axomo account, you can use culture rewards to set up swag for your company. So you can just make each, culture reward swag. It is a way more manual process of fulfilling it, but just know that that is something that we do see some customers do. But now that we have Axomo, I think we're going to see kind of a shift away from culture rewards to using Axomo for this. So setup is very easy. You'll have your Axomo subdomain. So ours is assembly.axomo.com. You'll enter your API key. Right now, like for the sake of this, I've disabled the validation. So you'll need an API key from a security perspective to validate this. So you can find that within your Axomo account. And there will also be a help article around this to also guide you through this if you don't know where to find these things. So basically whatever is live in your, actually I can just show you really quickly. So basically we directly import whatever swag you have enabled in your store. We show swag that has a statuses of active, coming soon, back ordered. We don't show swag that's been deactivated. That's something that you can change the status directly in Axomo, but we show to you, we automatically import everything that you have in your store. So, and if you have a price set in your store, we convert that price into a trophy value. We've gone in here and manipulated some of these for our test account, but in your Axomo store, we import every single thing that you see. Well, let's go to the admin view, actually. So if you go to admin panel and you see all of your items here, we just import everything with various statuses. And then whatever price, so 4670 would convert into, 4,670 trophies because the conversion rate is 10 cents. But if you want to mark it up or if you want to mark it down, you can come in here and edit the price to be whatever you want. So if I want to make this 2,000, save changes, that's what your members will pay in points. As far as shipping goes, so to keep this very simple, we do not handle shipping costs in assembly. Again, our points don't really translate to actual money until your credit card is charged. So say you want to just add a flat rate amount to cover shipping. So say shipping, maybe we recommend for US shipping, if you're only going to have US shipping, adding 500 points to cover the $5 needed for, 50 to cover the $5 needed for your shipping costs. Again, our conversion is different than what you see. So you can add the shipping cost, and this will show, I'll show you in the rewards catalog what that looks like. You can turn all items off. You can turn all items on. You can manually turn items off. This is just what's going to make the item viewable in the rewards catalog. So for example, just to show you, I'll turn this off for the sake of this demo. So this is the tumbler. By default, we disable showing the swag tab in the reward section. So if I was to go to, well, I'm an admin. So non-admins won't even see the swag tab show, but admins, you'll always see the swag tab, but you'll see here the swag tab is turned off. So once you turn it on, that means it's going to be available for everybody in your assembly to see and start to redeem. So only turn it on when you're ready to launch, but you can set up the whole store without ever turning this on. And this can be the last step that you do. So we'll turn it on and you'll see that the tumbler isn't showing up because I turned that item off. We have a few items that are coming soon, a few items that are out of stock. So we're showing your members that these items exist and that they will be able to redeem it soon, or if it's out of stock, that it will be back in stock. For the swag that they have enough points to redeem, they can select it. Shipping will be covered as part of the total cost. So again, if you want people to use their points to cover shipping, you can add that value in. If you don't care, just leave that 0 and they'll just pay $2,000 for this particular piece of swag. They'll choose the size, the quantity. They'll only be able to choose the quantity that they have enough points to redeem. So you'll see in this dropdown, I can only choose one because I only have 3,700 points. So, for comparison, this is something that's 807. I can choose up to 4. So people can never over order. They can never order more quantity than their points allow. So just a quick little detail there. So we'll have this. Shipping. If you have, so just a quick demo of what this looks like. If you have international shipping enabled, we will allow your members to choose from the countries that you enable, that you whitelist within Axomo. So right now we have international shipping available. We have a team in America. We have a team in India. So you can either choose India or the United States, and you'll enter the information there. And then the next process will just be confirming. And then one thing to note, and this is Axomo policy, this is not our policy, orders cannot be canceled or modified once placed unless it's an error on their end. So again, not our policy within assembly, but if orders need to be canceled for whatever reason, you need to reach out directly to Axomo to do so. So once the item is redeemed, you will see, if you've redeemed the reward, you'll see it show in your My Rewards. You can check the status here. If the order hasn't been shipped, we'll reflect that. If it's been shipped, we provide a tracking link. And then if it's been delivered, we'll show you a delivered status as well. And we'll keep the tracking link in case you need some extra information. And again, you can redeem for as many items as you have points to do. But this is a great opportunity for anybody in your company who's really into swag and you want to offer this as a way for them to use their points. It's already been a really popular ask amongst a lot of our customers. So just set up a store in Axomo and you can take advantage of this really amazing new feature that we have.